impossible task in this one. So I'm leaning LSU.
Now, this one, I went back and forth a few times. I mean, granted, Clemson's got the home field. We all know what LSU is. But at the same time, Clemson's looked pretty darn good this season outside of the game versus Texas. But honestly, where it came down to me was that both these teams are Tigers. And LSU names their Tiger. His name is Mike. But Clemson, you know what their mascot's name is? The Tiger. What kind of lazy nonsense is that? And for that reason alone, LSU will win by 2 touchdowns.
Because they didn't name their Tiger.
It's the name is the Tiger. What the hell? It's foolishness.
I like it. It's like naming your
Seems like
dog
something
Dog.
Dabo would approve.
You know, it probably was a Dabo thing.
Very
Definitely.
boring Dabo.
Yep. Jumping right along here, we move to a game that's a yearly tradition, means a lot to those who have served, an Army and Navy. Now, this one, it's not one of those years where they're really making many headlines, either of them. They both lost a lot of games, and most of those games have been pretty ugly, and they have, frankly, both not only struggled to win, but struggled to score in general, putting up single digits or even getting shut out multiple times. Army's had a slightly better season, but the end, this one comes back to me as I look at the history of the coaches, and over at Navy, Coach Ice has an advantage winning both times that he's taken on Untouchable and their previous stops. And so for that reason, say, stand Navy down the field, sails set to the sky.
I'm not quite as clever as you. I just went with what colors I like better between the two teams, only because I think they're so evenly matched. That I think the game will be really close. It's going to be a low scoring game, which is obviously something we don't see in the NDL very much. I like green's one of my favorite colors, and so I'm going with Army here.
You know, this is a tough one for me because I played ice last year at UTSA, and he was probably one of my favorite users to play. Super nice guy. Was the most like, hey, great play, great read, everything in the chat, and ended up having a great game. He ended up beating me at the end in a tough game for UTSA, which kept me from hitting my win goal last season. So I'm not holding that against him, but I'm also not giving him credit for that. And I'm actually siding with Army in this one, unfortunately. Sorry, Ice. Sorry, buddy.
So next up is the big game, right? One of the big games of the week here. We got Mort the Cow on the show with us. We also have CG's in the chat. Obviously, this is a tough one for me. I enjoy, us media members, we get up, we get on these shows and stuff, and a lot of times we have fans or people that talk a lot in the chat, and they don't miss very many of our shows. Mort and CG both are guys that are they're constantly listening to any of the material that we do put out in media, and so it's always really hard choosing against them when they play each other. Normally, we always pick them, and we just happen to be where these two play each other. I think this is going to be a good game. I do think that a team is going to pull away in the fourth quarter. Michigan State's really hot right now. Probably one of the best passing attacks in the league currently right now. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, really able to push the ball down the field. And I just think that Coach Mort's in Maryland is going to have a hard time keeping up with the speed. When you have some of these middle rated teams and stuff, speed can be a big difference on defense. And I think Michigan State's going to make just a few more plays, and I do think it's going to be a 2-score game towards the end of the game, and I have Michigan State winning. Sorry, Mort.
All right. Noted. I'm just going to put that on the list. Put your name on the list.
Number 3.
No, I think all of that is fair. I think what a lot of people don't realize is CG and I have he was one of my first scrimmages. Like he was my approval scrimmage when I joined the league. And I think it was halfway through the season before I even realized he'd only been in the league for like 1 or 2 seasons at that point. I thought he was some 10-year seasoned vet. And we have talked a lot of strategy, a lot of offense. We're both air raid guys. It'll be, hey, what do you think about this play? What do you think the reads are on this one? What do you think about this? I think this. And so we've had a lot of that more in-depth strategy of what are we seeing on a field? How are we going to attack that? Or how are we going to defend that? So this game could be real interesting of, are we overthinking it? Did I share something with him 2 weeks ago that he's holding on that he knows I like to do on, third and long, or sneak in there on first down? Or is he overthinking something that he expects from me that I can take advantage of? So there's going to be some additional chess match in this game. Personally, I'm going with myself because, hey, believe in yourself. I did that when I beat Washington. I was the only person in the Big Ten poll that voted for Maryland. I pulled that one off. I'm hanging my hat on that one again.
The confidence is inspiring, sir. I feel it. I feel it. Much respect. Having said that, though,
There
so
it
maybe
is.
CG's scared. Maybe that's what that means. It could be. Could be fear. Yep. Now,
Michigan
is
State
it?
35. He already called it on the chat.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Yep. Man, next time I'm
Well,
picking after Mort because that would have got me to pick him, I think.
fair enough. Fair enough. When I add all the stuff up in this game, Michigan State's a little bit faster. They're at home. Those are a couple pretty significant factors. And I think with everything being kind of even, and even as Mort himself talked about that they both share strategy and have a similar thing going on, I think in such a close psychological match that those little edges of just being a little faster and having that crowd being a little bit louder for you is going to push Sparty to a victory.
All right, you're number 4 on the list.
Hey, he should be number 3.
No, he already beat me in the Beefy Cup earlier. I get knocked down the list because of
So,
that.
well, he gets to
He doesn't
cross
have
you
any
off.
respect for me.
He's crossing you off the list then, right? He's crossing you off because he already won.
Well, he had to be put back on the list now.
Oh, man, you get it.
Which I welcome because I got to
worse.
try to get revenge at some point.
That's worse because then he's going to beat you twice.
Well, I mean, you can't go through life scared.
Mort, I'm going to let you.
Hey, if I'm at Texas Tech next year.
It could happen.
Mort, I'm going to let you introduce the next game, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, only because you get it. He's on your list, so it only is fitting.
He is on my list. So these ugly Cyclones taking on Oklahoma State Cowboys. I have been really impressed by what this Oklahoma State team has done. And it's going to be quite the contest coming up with Penguin, who I know is a strong defensive user, but I have to sit there and go, you know what? What is going to win this game? Is it going to be defense or is it going to be offense? And the way that I have seen Oklahoma State play over these last couple of weeks, beating, beating that Baylor team, the way that he's thrown it around the yard, I'm having to lean Oklahoma State in this game. Sorry, Penguin.
No, I expected it. It's fine. It's who you are. It's okay. It's okay. Our season to this point, and it's been mentioned many times, is defined by our poor performance versus Duke. And it's a terrible, terrible thing to have a bad performance versus one of the best teams on your schedule. Well, I think Oklahoma State has proven that this is going to be one of the toughest teams we play this season, regardless of what else happens. So we have a chance here to basically prove something to ourselves. I believe we can, and I believe we will. I think it's going to be a very significant challenge. But hey, if we want respect, we want to prove that we matter as a team to get the honor of getting boat raced in the playoffs by one of the best teams out there, then this is the type of game we have to win. So right now, I'm saying we will, and we're going to roll through Stillwater like a storm.
And I like it.
Hey,
That's
the same thing
confidence.
happened. I'm inspired by that speech, and I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe Iowa State can can take this one.
See, and I'm
I
glad
also
get a
lie a
pick.
lot, so there's that too.
I get a pick after him, so I like that. I just want to throw something out here. I was looking at these two games because I've been able to watch a lot of Penguins games as well as I've watched the last 3 games from Oklahoma State. And talk about two different contrasts when it comes to game style, right? Oklahoma State boasts one of the top 20 offenses in the league, one of the middle of the pack defenses in the league. Okay? It doesn't play much defense, high scoring games. Iowa State, the opposite, middle of the packed offense, but boasts one of the better defenses in the league, top 25 defense in the NDL. So you got two completely different contrasts. It's been a hot topic over the last couple of weeks is how hard it is to play defense right now in the NDL. With the game settings tweaks, something that may potentially happen with an EA update. And so I can't count out the defense. It was a very borderline pick. I was gonna pick Oklahoma State only because I'm like, man, you got to score points to win in the regular season, but I'm not. I heard Penguin confident. We've heard Penguin on the show before when he's played and he's not been confident. He's even picked against himself. And so I'm not doing it. Penguin's picking himself this week. I think Ohio State's going to pull off a close win, and it's going to be because of the defense.
Love it. Well, that brings us to our game of the week, and it's one that could really change how we look at the top of the seeding for the playoffs, or it could pretty much set up that it's pretty much written in stone who the top 4 teams are going into the postseason. As the Trojans head up to Eugene to play the Ducks. Now USC, they got smacked pretty good with the trip to Notre Dame earlier this season, but wins versus Miami and Michigan State both look pretty great on that resume recently. And on the other side, you have Oregon, who outside of a curious one-score battle in a rivalry game with the Beavers, has been the picture of domination this season. In fact, I say domination, I meant duckination. And that is what we will see more of in this game as the Quack Attack flies high in this game.
So I really don't have much more to say other than the Ducks. They fly together, and Mighty Ducks is one of my favorite shows I've ever watched as a kid, and so I'll never pick against the Ducks here. I got the Ducks winning big here.
There we go. I'm listening to the college football playoff committee and how they view USC. I'm not that high on them. I think I've got them around 17 or 18 in my poll. I just don't see a lot on their schedule that really inspires me. I disagree that Miami is a good win. I don't think it is anymore. It's an average win. And who cares about Michigan State? They've struggled to even get ranked. They just barely made it in this block. So I'm going with Oregon and Oregon big.
Ooh, we have Texanol who is listening right now, and he says, "Not so fast, my friends." Man, I mean, I hope it's a good
Believe
game.
in yourself, Texanol. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, you heard more words of encouragement to you, Texa Henry. Believe in yourself. Yeah, no, man. Really appreciated Mort being on the show. This is probably the longest show we've ever had, so really appreciate it. Penguin, as
My
always, man.
earbuds died, and I charged them, and they're charged again. That's how long the show was.
That means we've had a great show. No, we appreciate everybody spending your Saturday afternoons. Man, what games are you guys looking forward to watching tonight?
I'm going to enjoy watching Miami and Florida play purely because one of them has to lose, and I will relish that experience of watching them take that L.
It feels weird to say Indiana and Illinois is an exciting night game, but I'm really excited to see that game.
Could be a huge game for sure.
Yeah, big game.
And you never know what Bert is going to do on the sideline.
That's true. I'm really excited for tomorrow NFL football. I got the Seahawks are playing the Saints. Obviously, I live in Louisiana, so I have a lot of Saint fans around me. And so I have to really hope that the Seahawks handle their business tomorrow, because then I don't hear the end of it for an entire year or 2 or 3, depending on when they play again. Well, man, it's been a great show. I appreciate everybody checking us out, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Peace out.